If you are unsure about how to use a clicker or how to properly use your leash or leash techniques, I will leave a couple videos linked in the cards that I think you will enjoy and will be very helpful. Hi everyone, today I'm going to be showing you how to teach your dogs to walk nicely on a leash. My demo dog today is Brazen. Brazen is 8 months old and he's an Alaskan Malamute and he is an intact male. Alaskan Malamutes are, well, according to some people, very difficult to train. I wouldn't say that they're the easiest dog in the world, but they are quite wonderful and they do respond really well to lots of praise and affection and to treats. So I want to teach Brazen how to walk nicely on a leash. He does already do a very good or a fairly good loose leash walk because his mom has been working with these techniques since he was a puppy. So I'm going to show you those techniques that she's been using to teach him to walk nicely on a lead. I will be using a flat collar. I do not recommend a flat collar though if your dog has a pulling issue. So if you have a dog who pulls a lot already or you have trouble controlling your dog if they do pull, my recommendation would be a harness because we want to make sure that we're not damaging our dog's trachea and that we're not hurting our dogs, and a harness is probably your best bet. Now, any tool that is meant to stop your dog from pulling will only work as long as you're using the tool, so you should be at the same time teaching your dogs how to walk nicely on leash. Tools are only good if you are always willing to have them, but what if one day you go out and you don't have your tool and you have not been working on the issue? Well, you're going to have a dog who's going to pull like a freight train or a dog that ignores you when you're outside. So I do recommend a few things in making sure that you train your dogs. And while I do like harnesses, I like front clip harnesses and I like harnesses that prevent my dog from being able to pull me at full strength, especially again if I have a dog that pulls because I don't want my dog to injure themselves or to have an injury later on down the line because I have damaged their trachea as a young puppy. But again, you have to do the work. You cannot just rely on your tool, okay? So I have a nice flat buckle collar that I can put on Brazen, and I will in just a second. What you do want to do, or what I start off doing, is I work inside my home because, well, there's not a lot of distractions inside my home currently. So I'm going to put my collar on my puppy. Come on. Good boy. I'm going to put my collar on my dog. I'm not going to make it very tight. Brazen doesn't pull, and he's not an escape artist, so I feel confident putting that on. But it is also dependent on your dog. Just because I put it on quite loosely on Brazen does not mean that you should also do the same thing on your dogs, because what if your dog is an escape artist, or if you find you have issues with your dog, again, walking nicely on a leash, you don't want to put a flat collar on them and then they're just choking themselves. So the first part that I'm going to do is I'm going to start moving backwards with Brazen, rewarding him for following me and for focusing up on me. And in order to achieve that focus right from the get-go, I'm going to have a couple treats in my hand. So I usually start off with about 5 treats in my hand. I'm going to bring them up to his nose, guide him so that he's facing me, and then I'm going to start moving backwards, clicking and treating him as he's looking at me. And at first he will be looking at my hand that the treats are in, but after I'm done with the treats in my hand, I'm going to fade those out, and I'm going to keep rewarding him for focusing on me, and I'll keep getting treats for that. So I no longer have treats in my hand. I am now feeding Brazen out of my pouch. I want to make sure I click him as he gets, or as he focuses on me. Good boy. Okay, and do as much of this as you need or as your dog requires. Every dog is different. Building a nice foundation inside the home is also going to be really important because once you go outside and there's more distractions, it's going to be harder for your dog. Now, once I've done a whole bunch of walking backwards, when I start turning, now I'm going to do a full turn and start moving forward with my dog and clicking and treating him for moving along with me and staying nice and close beside me and focusing up on me. Boy. Now, I want to make sure that I'm clicking and treating my dog for lots of focus, because in my life, my goal is that I can do a lot of off-leash work with my dogs as well. And if I teach my dogs being nice and close beside me is what I want, that's what I'm going to get. I'm going to get a dog who likes to be close to me and is willing to focus up on me. Now, Brazen already knows this foundation work. So pretty quickly, I will take him outside. But you want to work on foundation work as long as it takes. So make sure you're working a lot inside, getting lots of practice in, because if you're going outside and there's just a whole world of distractions out there, you're going to have a really hard time getting a dog to focus on you. And it's really important that as we start off, that our dogs focus on us. The other reason I really like this method is because I don't rely on my leash at all. And I find a lot of people rely too much on their leash to keep their dogs from pulling, when really we should be making sure that, or our leash to correct our dogs pulling, when really we should just reward our dogs for all of the good behaviors that they do. AKA, in this case, I want to reward my dog for being nice and close and walking nicely beside me and even focusing up on me. All right? And that can be really helpful too if you have a dog who gets easily distracted. Brazen's not... Brazen, you good? He doesn't chew his food as much as I'd like him to. But we're going to move outside. I'm not really going to talk about him outside. I just want to show you the steps again outside in a more distracting environment and building up the distractions. So from the videos that you'll see now, or the shots that you'll see now, are just going to be increasingly more difficult environments, so that we can, or that I can show you kind of how you're going to progress from this. You're going to start off inside your home. Then I want you to start off going around your home, or moving in your front yard or your backyard, going somewhere where there's more distraction. So for example, my backyard has a lot of birds. I have a lot of like pheasants. I have, oftentimes I'll have porcupines. I also sometimes get otters and fishers. And sometimes I have seals, and I have a lot of people who go boating in my cove. So I have a lot of distractions out there that I'm going to build Brazen up to, and then we're going to hit the road, maybe see if we can go on the sidewalk, and then we'll see if we can hit a trail. So I hope you enjoyed the rest of this video, and I am happy to answer any questions at all that you have. Either on the videos down below, or if you reach out to me personally in my social media, which I will link on this video right now. And yeah, enjoy. So this is just in my backyard. Brazen hasn't really spent a lot of time there, so I figured it would be a nice new environment for him to work at before we tried to actually go for a walk in my neighborhood, which he's also not familiar with. Brazen really just spent a couple days with me to learn a couple things and to work, and I really wanted to borrow him to shoot some videos, just because I know that lots of people think it's really hard to work with an adolescent male, and I know it can be difficult, but you can do all these things with adolescent dogs, or an older dog, or even a really, really young dog. And that really was my hope, that comes across in this video. So I'm just working with him there, starting off again backwards. First I started off with the treats in my hand, and now I'm going to be moving on to moving forward with him and clicking and treating. I am very sorry. I'm terrible at knowing where the camera is sometimes, so I know I'm going out of frame a bit there, but I hope that doesn't detract too much from the video. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the rest of the clips. So the next couple clips are just me walking Brazen around the neighborhood, showing you guys how I'm rewarding him and that I really am not using my hand or full leash pressure or anything on him.
Good boy.
I'm just rewarding him for being nice and calm and walking beside me.
Good boy.
So this video just shows us walking by some water, and Brazen really loves to swim, and he'd already been in the water, as you can see by his fur. And this is just to show you that I'm just rewarding him for being a good boy, keeping that leash nice and loose, not pulling and not trying to jump into that water. Just rewarding the good behavior that I see and trying to encourage more of that. And that's really what this is all about. So just this last clip is us going to Peggy's Cove and actually applying what we learned over the last few sessions, teaching him to be nice and close, even with distractions. And as you can see, as the clip progresses too, there's one moment where he does pull, and all I ask for him is to return, and then we start rewarding again. I'm not yanking him back. I'm not being forceful with him or anything like that. I'm just asking him to return, and when he makes that choice to return, I reward him for that behavior. The other thing you'll see too is that as we get closer to distractions, just because Brazen isn't 100% yet, or I don't want to push him past his boundaries, I reward lots and lots and lots, especially as we get closer to that young child, especially since the mom was kind of warning the child and getting a little bit anxious about Brazen coming by, but he completely ignored her and was just completely happy to go past that child, and I was really rewarding him lots because it was a little bit harder, and the environment was getting a little bit harder, and as you can see, there's people coming really close by, and I just really want to be very rewarding, especially in cases or in situations like that where it is going to be more difficult for my dog to kind of keep that focus and stay nice and close. But I mean, I think we managed to get past the child, who was quite excited to see Brazen, and the mom, who was a little bit worried about the dog going so close to her child, and those people in front that Brazen did find quite interesting. But I really wanted him to learn that being beside me is kind of the really rewarding thing. And you can see that he gets a big cheer at the end there. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you found it educational. And if you have any questions or concerns, as always, just reach out. I'm always happy to answer any questions you have.